arsenic makes it dazzle like an emerald, fully rigged for dancing in matching gown, headdress, fan and shoes. The young lady is carrying enough arsenic on board to kill everyone in the room. She tosses off a casual aside, the American ambassador to Rome who slept under a ceiling of peeling arsenic roses, or lays down a riff on cyanide and its speed and surprise, qualities attractive to the suicide who doesn't care a fig what the body looks like after death, for cyanide has a tendency to turn the mouth and sometimes the whole face bright blue. Indeed, the colours of all the poisons enchant her: ruby red crystals, brick red, brilliant yellow powder, a crystalline white cake. She rescues from oblivion a certain doctor who personally applied dabs of poison to blowflies. But her tone modulates into reverence when she speaks of antidotes that come out of the shadows like kind spirits holding lamps. Through the rich texture of these ruminations, she threads her persistent, unhurried search for the truth about the two little boys who died at Katoomba in 1927. They perished, according to an aunt whose reluctantly whispered version is the only one available, at the hands of their father. Tirelessly and subtly, Belle works at deconstructing this story. Her grandfather, she learns, was a chemist who posed as a doctor in country towns, a dabbler in poisons who worked at the ratbag end of medical practice, a self-inventing charlatan whose patients trusted him because he had warm hands. But every trail she follows leads into further silence and darkness. At last she's obliged to accept that the truth about her little uncle's deaths will always elude her. But like many an exhausted researcher who can't quite put the story down and walk away, she takes a last look at one of the documents and the crucial fact leaps to her eye. The story swings around like a boat on a change of current. Her discovery has the power to demolish her family's myth of itself. When she triumphantly lays the fruits of her research before her father, he is not, she writes, as eager to accept my gift as I was to give it. Some facts are too potent on their own, too stark. Humbled by his quiet resistance, by his unspoken need to go on believing the version that protects him from what he could not bear, she learns again the respect that is owed to the unknowable, to the private ways in which wounded people teach themselves to go on.
Chapter 1. The Pleasures of Found Glass. When I was a girl of 10, my father showed me a kind of sample case made, he said, of the best wood, lacquered, embossed with gold initials, hinged and fastened with brass. When you undid the clip and lifted the lid, an inner shelf levered into view. On the shelf were beautiful bottles, each with a glued-on label, handwritten in ink script, and sealed with glass stoppers. One bottle had a thick sludge at the bottom, like tar. Idly I picked it up, extracted the top, which was stiff and unyielding, put the end of the stopper to my nose, as you would with perfume. My father snatched it from my hand and said, "Never, never do that. You could die." The sample case had arrived in a carton delivered to our house a week after my father's stepfather passed away. The strange thing was, nothing inside the package had belonged to the stepfather. It was what was left of the belongings of my father's real father, and for some reason had been hoarded, probably forgotten, until the relatives tidied up and wanted to be rid of them. We laid the other things out on a table: 2 leather suitcases from the 1920s, a collar box, a tie box, calling cards, a smoking jacket, a silver-handled walking cane, and a small bundle of photographs. Looking at them seemed to give my father no pleasure at all. "What's in the bottles?" I asked. "Rubbish," said Dad. "Bad stuff. Poison." Hearing this, my mother ordered the bottles out of the house. I asked if I could keep the sample case, but my father had made his decision. The next day he took it to work and buried it in the footings of a house. He put the other things back in the carton and put the carton in the shed, where it sat for another 25 years undisturbed. My father...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.